Very good news, Cule family. I am Pedro, a Cule like you. Like and subscribe to the channel to know everything about Barça. In this video, we have 3 very important pieces of news about our beloved club, and the last one is a huge bombshell. Don't miss it. Fermin Lopez's decision to stay at FC Barcelona is not just news that fills many Cules with pride, but also a clear example of what true commitment to this institution we carry in our hearts means. In a time when money seems to rule everything and the temptation to leave the club for million-dollar offers is enormous, Fermin's steadfastness in staying true to his dream of triumphing with the Blaugrana jersey deserves immense recognition. We cannot forget that, at just 22 years old, the player has shown a maturity and vision that many veterans would love to have, prioritizing his sporting development and emotional connection with the club over any sum that could tempt his ego or wallet. It is essential to highlight that Fermin is not taking a step back, but rather making the bravest decision a young talent can make in these times. Betting on his personal and collective growth in a team undergoing full reconstruction, with the conviction that his time will come and that he can be part of Barça's rebirth in the coming years. This choice reflects enormous emotional intelligence and a deep identification with the values this entity represents. Values that have made Barcelona much more than a club and turned it into a global symbol of football, culture, and passion. Fermin embodies that mix of talent and humility that we so desperately need to become what we have always been, a team feared and respected by all. It is impossible to ignore what it means for La Masia and the fans to have a player who, amid the frenzy of the market and offers from the big Premier League clubs, decides to stay and give his all here at home. This gesture speaks of a winning mentality, a loyalty far more precious than any check. Fermin has understood that growing at Barça involves sacrifice, patience, but above all, commitment. And his story so far demonstrates that he does not give up easily, that he fights for every ball with the grit and dedication that this crest demands. He is a role model for youngsters dreaming of wearing these colors and a reason for all the club supporters to feel hope for the future. Some might think that the pressure of having such tempting economic offers could unbalance any player in development, but Fermin has shown enviable mental strength. The fact that he has decided to stay in Barcelona indicates that he is willing to temporarily sacrifice the economic aspect for a sporting project that, although in transition, has enormous potential. This speaks not only well of him but also of the environment and structure surrounding him, which have managed to convey to him that here there is a path to grow and shine with his own light, not only as a player but also as a member of a family that supports and fights together. Moreover, Fermin is not staying just for the sake of staying. He has taken concrete steps to integrate further into the city and the club by buying a house in Sant-Joan-d'Espí, a clear sign that he intends to put down roots, grow, and actively be part of the team's daily life. This gesture shows that Fermin is down to earth and that his commitment to Barcelona is not fleeting but is ready to be lasting and fruitful. The excitement this generates among the fans is enormous, as it allows us to dream of a future where our own, those trained at home and with the jersey tattooed on their skin, will be the protagonists. For the supporters, Cules, the message is clear: not everything can be bought or sold, and true love for the club transcends external temptations. The fact that Fermin is clear that he wants to continue defending these colors strengthens the sense of belonging at a crucial moment for Barça. Having players who understand the responsibility and greatness of the crest is vital to building a team capable of regaining lost glory and competing at the highest level in all competitions. It is clear that Fermin Lopez is a key piece in the ongoing project and that his decision to stay is a breath of fresh air for all of us who want to see Barcelona great again. His evolution and adaptation will be decisive in verifying whether this personal bet can become one of the greatest successes of this reconstruction phase. Seeing a young man with so much hunger and determination ready to give his all at Camp Nou reminds us why Barça is more than a club. It is a school of values, effort, and passion. That is why, Cules at heart, I ask you this direct and sincere question. What do you think of Fermin Lopez's decision not to leave Barcelona despite the tempting offers he had on the table? Do you think his commitment is the example we need to continue believing in this project? Do you think players with this mentality are the ones who will make the difference in the club's future? Your opinion interests me greatly, because at the end of the day, Barça is all of us, and every voice counts at this crucial moment. Fermin Lopez's steadfastness in maintaining his commitment to FC Barcelona amid a market full of million-dollar temptations is not just an act of individual bravery, but also a powerful reflection of the identity we want to preserve within the club. In an era where football seems governed by quick transactions and decisions driven by economic interests, the stance of a young talent like Fermin gives us hope that solid values still exist, that love for this jersey can be stronger than any figure on a contract. This lesson not only demonstrates his maturity but also invites us to reflect on what it truly means to be a Cule. He is ready to fight and grow within the club, to resist external pressure, and to bet on a project that, although challenging, is the only one that can bring us back to the elite. It is evident that Fermin's permanence represents something much greater than just the sporting aspect. It is a symbol for La Masia, for all the youngsters dreaming of making the leap to the first team, and for the supporters who have seen so many promises lost along the way due to lack of opportunities or the temptation to leave too soon. His decision reminds us that the path to glory is not always the easiest, but it is the one that forges character and soul. Fermin is showing that he wants to be part of this reconstruction process from within, that he wants to earn every minute of play with effort and dedication, and that he understands that true success is not measured only in contracts but by the mark one leaves on the club that formed them. The second piece of news concerns an important decision in our club as Cules. And while I know many will struggle to accept it, I believe that Ferran Torres' departure could be a smart decision for the club right now. This is not about downplaying what he has contributed or denying that he has had acceptable performances at certain points in the season, but about looking further ahead, thinking about the immediate future and the real needs we have as an institution. Ferran is a player with market value, at an age that can generate a good transfer fee, and while his performances have been positive at times, they have not been decisive enough to consider him untouchable. If Arab football or any other destination is willing to put a significant amount of money on the table, we should seriously consider this possibility, especially since we know the club's economy requires bold decisions to strengthen other areas. His versatility, which many highlight as an argument for him to stay, could also be seen as a reason to let him go. He is a player who adapts to multiple positions but has not managed to establish himself as an undisputed starter in any of them. Yes, he can play on the right, left, or center of the attack, but in each of these roles, we have seen alternatives that have offered more consistency or greater impact. And in a club that aspires to win everything, being merely functional is not enough, you have to make a constant difference. Ferran, despite his moments of inspiration, has not managed to make that leap that would place him among the elite of decisive attackers. The opportunity to sell him now could be the most beneficial for both parties. For the club, because it would receive revenue to address strategic signings or ease financial pressures. For the player, because he would find a new challenge in an environment where he might have more prominence and less media pressure. It's not about pushing him out the door, but about understanding that sometimes cycles end, and it is better to close them when you can still get a significant return, rather than waiting for his market value to decline. Ferran has shown commitment, there is no doubt, but commitment does not always mean he is the piece we need to make the quality leap we are missing. We have already experienced with other players the temptation to keep them for their dedication and attitude, but in the end, competitive demands remind us that we need players who make a difference in big scenarios. Ferran has had opportunities to do so, and while he has shown flashes, he has not managed to turn those moments into a constant. In important matches, when the team needed a different spark, he has rarely been the one to ignite it. If the club rejects a substantial offer out of fear of losing a versatile player, it risks mortgaging its ability to move in the market. Let's not forget that the economic situation does not allow for unnecessary luxuries, and every decision of this type must be evaluated with entrepreneurial coldness. If we can obtain an amount close to or even more than what was invested in him, we would be talking about an operation that would leave profits and open up room to strengthen the squad with more unbalancing profiles. Additionally, there is the motivation factor. A player who has been at the club for some time and has not managed to establish himself as an undisputed starter could find a new momentum elsewhere, a context that allows him to rediscover the joy of playing football without the constant pressure to perform at a star level. Ferran could shine in a less demanding league or in a team where the offensive burden rests more on him. This is not a negative thing. It is simply understanding that every footballer fits better in certain environments. The interest from Arab football, for example, could offer him a significant salary increase, which is difficult to refuse in any professional career. And if we add to that the fact that the club would receive immediate and substantial revenue, we would be facing a scenario of mutual benefit. It is not about underestimating his quality, but about recognizing that perhaps this is the ideal time for both parties to take different paths. That is why, as a fan, I believe we should look at this possible transfer with less emotional attachment and more strategic vision. Ferran has worked, contributed, and sweated for the jersey, but he has not transformed into that decisive player who marks a before and after in the season. And if there are teams willing to pay significant sums for him, closing the door solely for sentimental reasons could be a mistake. Sports planning requires making tough decisions, and this could be one of them. And if we look deeper, there is something we cannot ignore. Ferran's sale should not be interpreted as a sporting loss, but as an opportunity to take a step forward in building the team we all dream of. This type of operation, when done at the right time, can make the difference between a club that stagnates and one that grows. Let's think about what it would mean to have significant extra revenue in this very market. It would open the door to strengthening areas where we may currently lack depth or an obvious leap in quality. It's not just about replacing one name with another, but about optimizing the squad to compete with guarantees on all fronts. Additionally, the departure of a player like Ferran, although appreciated by part of the fanbase, is not an untouchable symbol. It could send a clear message to the dressing room. Here, no one has a guaranteed starting spot if they do not perform at the maximum level consistently. This internal competition, this feeling that every position is earned day by day, is one of the keys for a team to maintain intensity throughout the season. Sometimes, the arrival of a new footballer combined with the departure of another renews energies, awakens dormant ambitions, and pushes everyone to raise their level. We must also assess the external situation. The current market is overvaluing the price of certain profiles, and an offer for Ferran now does not guarantee that the same will exist in a year. It is possible that his statistics will drop, he will play fewer minutes, or an untimely injury will reduce his value. On the other hand, if a transfer is closed at this moment, we could take advantage of the peak interest and secure revenue that, given the circumstances, would be invaluable. For my part, I think letting him go now could be a smart move that would open new possibilities for us and, in the long run, strengthen the project we all want to see triumph.